We all know the issues of Africa. We've been hearing it, the same words, for 200 years. The issues then are still the issues of today. No matter how much food has been shipped, how many tons of medications, how many textbooks or pairs of shoes, or how much money. The reports of starvation, desperation, HIV, dysentery, cholera, hepatitis E, and death. The words are still the same. This is the Africa you've been told about. Want to hear something different? We met Matumba Jennifer 3 years ago when we first started the Africa Trade Project. She's a 65-year-old grandmother of 8 and a mother of 12 children. Most of her children have died from HIV/AIDS, and the care of all 8 of the grandchildren fall to her. She lost her parents as a young girl, 4 brothers, 3 sisters, and her husband. She remembers colonization, the independence of Uganda, and Idi Amin. When her husband died, left without inheritance rights as most women, she was forced out of the family's compound. Eventually, she was able to build a small mud hut with a thatched roof that leaked every time it rained. Through all of this, she remained filled with a joy that we rarely see anywhere else. Her hope was diminishing until she came to us at one city where she sold us our very first Africa Trade basket. She was determined to rebuild her life and make a better life for her grandchildren. Her wants were simple and humbled us to our core. Sugar for her tea, salt for her grandchildren. Her life has changed dramatically in 3 years. With the income and financial planning taught in the Africa Trade Program, she's been able to purchase back the home she was forced from, which has plenty of space for her grandchildren, and enough land to grow the food they all need. We wanted to do more than just care about the poor. We wanted to find solutions that would make a permanent difference. From the very start, our mission was to create long-term sustainable solutions that help people understand the value and dignity of work. After meeting one of our very young artists, Randall, who was trying to raise money for school fees, we decided to visit his home. The trail to the small hut was lined with litter, waste, and smells that violated our senses. Once inside, after blinking away the darkness, we found the simplest of furnishings: 1 plastic chair and a couple of grass mats. There was one window toward the back of the hut, without glass or any barrier, and we watched as the rats freely moved around. Lots of children were scurrying in and out, and the mom was holding a baby that looked in need of food and a nose wipe. This was poverty. Still, they wanted to welcome us to their home with some tea. Randall set off with his plastic jerry can for water from the river. Randall's mother turned out to be yet another woman we met who was HIV positive. Her husband had to spend most of his time in Kampala looking for work, and there was usually no money to send home. None of the children were able to attend school since Mom was by herself and needed help in the gardens. Sometimes the children would be on the streets begging. A year later, Randall is honing his woodworking skills with Africa Trade trainers and is attending school. His mother lost her battle with AIDS, and one city hired his father for a construction job at the Light Village. With his wages, he's been able to have all of the children tested for the AIDS virus and expand his land to grow more food for the children. The entire family has graduated from the Healthy Village and Family Workshop and are living in a cleaned-up compound with far fewer health issues. Africa needs more than handouts that will temporarily still the present hunger. It needs economic opportunity today. Education and training empowers its children to become the leaders of tomorrow, not just giving them a fish, but teaching them how to fish. Sitting in Doreen's stifling kitchen room for only a few minutes, breathing in the smoke, left us gasping for fresh air and our eyes burning. Doreen is the mother of 4 young children and always has at least one on her back when she stooped over the fire preparing the family's meal. The others are either sleeping or playing nearby, also breathing in the poisonous smoke. The average woman in Uganda inhales the equivalent of 2 packs of cigarettes per day through cooking. Doreen has been sick for some time with a serious respiratory infection and eye problems. All of her children also suffer with respiratory and breathing difficulties, and the youngest died a year earlier from pneumonia. Doreen was a star pupil in our Healthy Village class and learned that at least having a cookhouse outside of the area where the family is living and not taking her children into the cooking area would help keep them healthier. In Uganda, there are no big warning labels on bags of charcoal warning people about the dangers of burning it inside because of carbon monoxide poisoning, and they just don't know it. Saving money she earned from training others in her village about the hazards of indoor cooking, She was able to build a cookhouse separate from her home. But until a better cooking method comes along for her and 30 million other Ugandans, respiratory issues and death will continue to be a reality. O.C.M's Light Fuel project will save lives in Uganda and all over the world. 2 million children die each year from pneumonia brought on by indoor pollution. On top of that, overpopulation on limited land resources has resulted in increased deforestation, which continues to have deadly effects, such as flooding and landslides. A year ago, the Ugandan government awarded 23 acres of land to One City, endorsing our vision of a sustainable model village. One City's Light Village model addresses health, environment, and economic issues in a synchronized approach and will be 100% self-sustaining. The Light Village will generate income through light fuel processing plant creating clean energy, fish and hydroponics farm, Africa Trade Artisan Training Center creating handmade crafts, beekeeping and poultry farm. These projects, contained within the Light Village, will completely support an orphanage for 80 children, a primary school, a family health and women's clinic, a church, and a vocational training center. We embrace our work of creating sustainable opportunities enthusiastically. We're committed to make every program impactful, every decision meaningful, every penny work efficiently, and every program powerful and life-changing. We are grateful and feel blessed to be part of changing lives in Uganda. These are the faces of real people who have worked to make their own lives better, empowered by the hope and promise of One City. This is the way we see Africa. This is the Africa we love.